Good morning/afternoon/evening, everyone. Let me ask you something. How many of you have ever said, I'll do it later? Yeah, me too. And then later turns into never, and next thing you know, you're standing in the exact same place, wondering where all your time went. Well, today we're drawing a hard line in the sand. No more wasted time. No more I'll do it tomorrow. Because tomorrow is a thief, and it has been robbing you blind for years. Here's how we stop the clock from running out on us. Deadlines aren't meant to be comfortable. They're meant to push you beyond what you think you're capable of. The truth is, most of us drastically overestimate how much time we need to get something done. If you give yourself a month to finish a project, guess what? It's going to take exactly a month. If you give yourself a week, suddenly you find a way to make it happen in 7 days. Here's why this works. Pressure creates progress. Think about how many times you've accomplished something big. Not because you had unlimited time, but because you had no choice but to deliver. That final exam you crammed for, that work presentation you pulled together at the last minute, you made it happen because the deadline forced you into action. Now, imagine if you use that same urgency all the time, by choice. The secret isn't to work under stress. It's to use strategic urgency to make sure you don't get stuck in the cycle of overthinking and inaction. Set deadlines that make you a little uncomfortable. Give yourself half the time you think you need, because when you compress your timeline, you force yourself to prioritize what actually matters. Most people wait until the last minute to take action. Champions make the last minute come sooner, so stop waiting for the perfect time. Set the deadline, commit to it, and move. Perfectionism is one of the sneakiest forms of procrastination. It disguises itself as a good thing. After all, who doesn't want their work to be flawless? But in reality, it's a trap that keeps you stuck in endless revisions, second-guessing, and tweaking things that probably don't even matter in the grand scheme of things. The most successful people in the world understand one simple truth. Done is always better than perfect. Why? Because perfect is an illusion. What you think is perfect today will probably look different to you tomorrow, and if you keep waiting for that flawless moment when every single detail is just right, you'll be waiting forever. Think about the greatest inventions, the best-selling books, the most successful businesses. None of them started as polished, flawless masterpieces. They started as rough drafts, beta versions, and prototypes that were put out into the world and improved over time. The iPhone wasn't perfect when it first launched. The first draft of any novel is usually messy, but the difference between success and stagnation is this. Those who achieve big things aren't afraid to put their imperfect work out there. You have to be willing to start before you feel ready. If you wait until everything is perfect, you'll never begin. Progress happens when you take action. Learn from your mistakes and improve as you go. The real magic happens in iteration, not hesitation. So instead of obsessing over every little detail, commit to moving forward. Give yourself permission to create something that isn't perfect. Ship it, launch it, publish it, whatever it is for you, get it out into the world and refine it later. Because the truth is, you can't improve what doesn't exist. Life is full of distractions. Some are obvious, like social media notifications constantly pinging for your attention, and others are more subtle, like unnecessary meetings, negative people, or self-doubt creeping into your mind. The reality is most of us waste an incredible amount of time on things that don't actually move us forward. And if you're not intentional about what you focus on, you'll spend your days reacting to the noise instead of creating real progress. The key to making the most of your time is learning to control what you can and ignore the rest. That means recognizing what is actually within your power and what is simply a waste of energy. You can control your work ethic, your mindset, your habits, and how you respond to challenges. But you can't control the opinions of others, the latest trends, or the unexpected curveballs life throws your way. And yet, so many people spend their energy worrying about things they can't change instead of doubling down on the things they can. Think about elite athletes. They don't waste time worrying about what their competitors are doing every second of the day. They train, they focus, they put in the work, knowing that external distractions won't change the outcome. Their preparation will. Now apply that same mindset to your own life. How much time do you spend scrolling through social media, comparing yourself to others, or stressing about things that are completely out of your hands? If that time was redirected into taking action on your goals, imagine how much further along you'd be. You have to protect your focus like it's your most valuable asset, because it is. That means setting boundaries. It means turning off notifications when you're working. It means saying no to pointless meetings, energy-draining conversations, and anything that doesn't align with your priorities. When you start filtering out the noise and controlling what actually matters, something incredible happens. You gain momentum. You move faster. You stop feeling overwhelmed by things that don't deserve your attention, and you start making real, measurable progress. At the end of the day, you only have so much energy. Spend it on what matters. Everything else, let it go. One of the biggest reasons people struggle with time management isn't that they're lazy or unmotivated. It's because they say yes to too many things that don't actually matter. Every time you agree to something that doesn't align with your goals, you're taking time and energy away from the things that do. And the harsh truth, most of us are overwhelmed not because we have too much to do, but because we haven't learned how to say no. Saying no is a skill, and like any skill, it takes practice. It feels uncomfortable at first. You don't want to disappoint people. You don't want to come across as rude or unhelpful. But the most successful people in the world understand one simple rule. Every yes to something unimportant is a no to something critical. You cannot do it all. And if you keep trying, you'll end up drained, distracted, and further away from your real priorities. Think of your time like a bank account. Every task, meeting, or commitment you take on is a withdrawal. If you keep saying yes to everything, you'll run out of energy before you even get to the things that truly matter. The solution? Protect your time like a limited resource, because it is. This doesn't mean you have to be harsh or dismissive. There's an art to saying no while still being respectful and professional. You can say, I appreciate the opportunity, but I'm fully committed to other priorities right now. This sounds great, but I can't give it the attention it deserves at the moment. I'd love to help, but I need to stay focused on my current commitments. And sometimes the best response is simply no thank you. No over-explaining, no guilt, just a confident, clear boundary. The moment you start valuing your time, others will too. People will respect your priorities because you respect them yourself. And when you stop filling your schedule with things that don't serve your mission, you create space for the things that do. So the next time someone asks you for something that doesn't align with your goals, pause. Before you instinctively say yes, ask yourself, is this worth my time? Will this help me move forward? If the answer is no, then your response should be to. Because every time you say no to the wrong things, you're saying yes to the life you actually want. Time is the one thing you can never get back. You can lose money and make more. You can fail and try again. But time, once it's gone forever. And yet most people live as if they have an unlimited supply of it. They put things off, telling themselves they'll start someday. They wait for the perfect moment, the right opportunity, or just a little more motivation. And in doing so, they waste days, months, even years standing still while life keeps moving forward without them. If you want to accomplish something, whether it's building a business, writing a book, getting in the best shape of your life, or finally chasing that dream you keep thinking about, you have to act like you're already running out of time. Because you are. Think about it. If you found out you only had 6 months left to achieve your biggest goal, how would you operate? You wouldn't procrastinate. You wouldn't waste hours scrolling through social media or binge watching shows that don't add value to your life. You wouldn't spend time overanalyzing or doubting yourself. You'd move. You'd take action. You'd make every moment count. The difference between successful people and those who stay stuck isn't talent or luck. It's urgency. They treat every day like it matters because it does. They don't wait until they feel ready because they know that waiting is just another form of fear in disguise. They don't tell themselves, I'll start next week, or I'll do it when I have more time. They carve out time now, even if it's inconvenient. Here's the truth. You will never feel 100% ready. You will never have the perfect moment. But the people who accomplish great things aren't the ones who had perfect conditions. They're the ones who started anyway. They created their own momentum by taking action, even when they weren't sure how it would all work out. If you need proof, just look at history. The greatest leaders, innovators, and game changers didn't wait until everything lined up perfectly. They acted with urgency. They treated time like a precious resource. And because of that, they achieved things that most people only dream about. So what are you waiting for? Another year to pass by? Another excuse to delay? Another reason to stay comfortable? You don't have unlimited time. None of us do. But you do have today, right now, this moment. So I'll leave you with this. What are you going to do with the time you have left? Are you going to talk about it, or are you going to be about it? Because the clock is ticking, and it's time to move. Let's go.